viewers, and welcome to the Cutie Art Crusaders, episode 121 for November 4th, 2014. It's a lovely day for a podcast, and I am your fortunate host of said podcast. So, let's start with the introduction, shall we? So, my name is Rhombilius Plasmonium, the third, of course. I am the host of said podcast, and today I am joined by three of my very special friends.
That would be, I guess, one of those fine chaps would be me. I happen to be, today I am Burndington McBumpersnazzle III, formerly known as Burndini the Wizard. And today I am joined by two other lovely folks. I don't know where I was going with that, but I happen to be the special guest coordinator of the show, and I'm not very good at this voice. And I'm not editing this week.
Yes, no, you're not editing. Neither am I. Can you believe it? I can. Let's move on to the next one, shall we?
I'm Fluter Guy, and I happen to be the media manager for this here podcast. And this week I'm handling the editing. Finally, something like that.
The guy from Gravity Falls.
Woo!
Well, crikey, I bet it's my turn then, eh? I'm at my spark and I do the questions, and I do that every blooming week.
All righty then. So now that we've got the introductions out of the way, and now that I've completely killed my throat, let's try to do an hour-long podcast. Fantastic. Let's start in 3, 2, 1. Hi guys. So this is me now, back again with a killed throat because that voice is awful. So welcome to the podcast.
What?
Yay.
What happened to Rhombilius? Whatever his name was.
Rhombilius.
What is it?
Plasmington.
Plasmium. Rhombilius
Plasmetium.
Oh.
Plasmetium. The third. Of course, classic. He is with us in spirit. He is with us in all of our hearts at all times. He might make an appearance, but that would be difficult because he's dead.
He died in Alaska, eaten by 5 feral children that someone abandoned.
It is.
Was it you, Bert?
It is really unfortunate.
Were those your children?
But unfortunately, it's the way that things have to be. So if you're confused, I just wanted to clarify this. This is the first episode that we're putting exclusively on our YouTube, which is youtube.com/Cutie Art Crusaders, which you would know because you're sitting there right now. So if you're confused, that's fair. This maybe wasn't the best episode to do silly intro, but I wanted to do silly intro, so we did silly intro.
Maybe not the best episode to make like jokes about, or like references to inside jokes about my feral children who happen to be raised by bears.
Look, it's episode 121. You kind of get the deal. If you walk in at episode 121, you're going to miss some references.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been doing this for like, what, 2.5 years
Oh
now?
my God.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is the worst. I think this is the worst I've blown up my throat in like the first 5 minutes of the podcast. So.
I'm really getting a kick out of this.
Go like...
Those listening, you guys don't know this, we totally made Raven Plasma do this twice.
Yeah.
So his throat's absolutely destroyed.
So sorry.
By the way, I do in fact hate all of you, equally and with great vigor.
He lives again. Woohoo!
Nope, he's gone.
Oh God. Nope. Now he's dead.
Okay. So what's new this week, guys? What's the news? Dear God.
First of all, it was Nightmare Night Halloween.
Yeah.
Last Friday.
Hooray.
So we got some awesome fan art from peoples, and we showed some last week, and we have some more this week.
Here we do.
The first piece is by Otaku AP called CAC Candy, and it's us in a big pile of candy.
Taco AP continue to be the most featured artist on the show.
Yeah, really.
I don't know what I am. Am I a zombie?
You're
I don't know.
Frankenstein, I have
think you're
determined.
just-
Because if you look at
Oh,
your
that's right.
skull
Yeah,
and
that's
stone,
Frankenstein.
you even said that in your comment. Where is your brain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, you're Frankenstein. He's role-playing
man.
much.
So it's funny. I just wanted to, like, tiny little story here to do with Halloween and candy and stuff. We're on a big pile of candy, which would assume that we all got lots of candy, right? So my house this year, what we did was we all pitched in a bunch of money to buy big candy bars. So we were the cool house on the street that handed out full-size candy bars. But that was under the assumption that we'd at least, I don't know, all get one at the end. They're all gone. I didn't get a single piece of candy.
Did kids hit up your house twice?
I don't know. We got
something?
70 kids come by. It was a lot.
Wow.
So now that I live with an American, we did Halloween properly this year because it's not really a thing in my country. So this is the first year I've ever carved a pumpkin, and I lit it and I forgot it. It's at my friend's house right now. And we had like a ton of candy, and we still have a ton of candy. Well, it's not here at our friend's house, but it still exists. It's not poop yet.
Did you say it's not poop yet? Excuse me?
Yeah, I did.
I haven't yet digested Halloween's find.
I'm going to go out tomorrow and buy a bunch of candy, but this is so the opposite of what I am right now.
I just picture like little kid Joel, just like, God, I can't wait to turn this into poop.
Little kid Joel or Joel 5 minutes ago?
They're the same thing.
same
oh my
thing.
god.
So we got that piece.
So we also got.
Damn it!
Go ahead.
Can everybody
We always do
stop
this.
interrupting me, lest I slip back into my primal form? Go ahead, Ted.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. So we also got some awesome gifts by Flutterlove sent to our email account.
Hey.
Gifts
And-
of gifts.
They're us in Halloween costumes, and
Damn it.
there's one sad pinky for Rainbow Plasma because poor guy didn't get his own thing.
Yep.
Man, Flutterlove, you don't
Look
love
at that
Max?
pinky, it's
Yeah,
so
it is.
They sent.
No love for Rainbow
They,
Plasma.
they sent. They sent.
But enough
3
about
gifts.
sad Rainbow Plasma. Let's talk about the gift of me.
One gift for every single one of us. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, we talked about this earlier, and you're in all 3 of them. So you got 3 gifts.
I'm
Yeah.
a tiny little copy-pasted me.
Okay. So, yeah, that is some awesome fan art. So thank you guys so much, Flutterlove and Otaku AP and Late Customer and whoever else sent us in fan art. We love you guys.
I'm not bitter at all.
I want to talk
Aw.
more about the gifts of us.
Okay.
It's in our Halloween
Me too.
costumes.
Yeah.
What's our Halloween con? I don't get it.
Exterminate.
I don't get any of these references.
The first one's
I'm
a
a robot.
Dalek.
No, it's
Okay.
not a Dalek.
Yeah, why else would it say exterminate?
Why
But I've
else
got-
would it have
what's
a
with the
heart and a
killer
killer
whale
whale
with
with
eyebrow
moose
wings?
antlers on it? Like,
That is very odd.
That's because I said that in an episode.
exactly.
None of these make sense.
That's the thing that I said.
All the things that are coming out of your mouths make no sense. What is it?
We were talking about, it was the question, like, what would your Halloween costume be? Or you're going to a costume party and we like pick costumes for ourselves. Flutter Guy picked the dude from that show that got canceled. I pick what is it? Darn it. Help me out here, Ted.
Person from Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
General Armstrong.
General
But like
Armstrong,
a wimpy version of General Armstrong because I'm friggin' scrawny.
Right.
So it's like me with my, like huge muscles and twiddly mustache, which is extremely twiddly right
What
now,
the
by
heck
the
did
way.
I say to get a robot?
I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
What did I say to get nothing?
I don't know.
Anyways, thanks so much for that. We're extremely confused, and one of us is bitter, but that's fine. It was very nice of you to make these.
My pleasure will make up for Rainbow Pleasant's bitterness. It's all right.
I do love it.
Would you like a little bit of salt with your gifts?
Man, even though
Yes.
Halloween's over, I feel like while we're still on the first and we're close to Halloween, I should take my shirt off and take a picture.
Excuse
Be General
me?
Armstrong.
Yes.
Excuse me?
That'd be terrifying.
Yes,
Excuse me?
Go on.
I need some blue pants.
What?
And you need sparklies in the air too.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Can we...
General Armstrong doesn't wear a shirt. What do you want from me?
I don't watch that show.
Well, I guess he does wear a coat, but then every time he appears on screen, he's like, "Bruh," flexes and it disappears.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good show. Don't ask questions. Moving
All right.
forwards.
Anyways, art?
Art. Yes. So, Bern, would you like to explain what our theme is?
Yeah,
for this
Bern,
week?
you want to explain the fact that you have a theme this episode? Huh?
Yeah.
You want to explain this?
I
Nice
decided to
squeak,
bring
Bron.
back the theme this episode because what is it? Max had, or Rainbow Plasma rather, had chosen
Same thing.
a piece of ponies, the main 6 stacked on top of each other, and I was like, I thought that was kind of funny. It's like horses stacked on top of each other. Like, I can work with that. I know another art piece where there's horses stacked on top of each other. Like, that sounds like a good theme right there. And so I convinced Flutter Guy and Atmospark to get their own pony-related said stacking horse pieces. And so our theme for this week is stacking horses.
You know what the difference?
Stacking.
Do you know
on
what the
top of each
difference
other.
between the explanation of that and the reality of that is? There's a really big difference, and that difference is 1 hour. Because that's how long it took to find stacking ponies.
Yep.
So now,
You know how
with our
hard it
theme
is.
of stacking ponies, let's move on to mine first, because apparently I inspired this theme thing.
It's a horse theme.
It's loosely a theme. We'll go with it.
You know what, Bernd? The one benefit that I get out of this is that this week you were going to feature something that I wanted to feature. So next week I can just feature that one. That can be your
Nah,
consolation
like-
prize to me.
I'm just gonna stick that in there. It's like I've already made the document where I chose it. Dibs.
I hate you.
I like how what's more things? How many more times can I call
So
dibs?
this art piece,
Double dog dibs. I don't know.
this art piece is called Stacking Ponies. Big surprise!
Hey!
It's called Stacking Ponies by Fluttershy the Kind. It's got ponies. They are stacked.
You know what I actually really love about this art piece?
Yeah,
The fact
is
that
it-
there's horses stacked on top of each other.
Right, yes. Is it the fact that there's a vertical pillar of horses?
Equines.
Yeah.
That should be
Almost-
this episode name, Vertical Pillar of Equines, dude.
Vertical pillar of equines.
Done.
All right.
Oh my
You know
God.
what? Never mind. That made it. I'm okay with it now.
We're good.
All right.
I'm very excited with myself, too.
Oh, today's a good day.
Okay, so I wanted to bring up something that I thought was really cool, and that was the way that Fluttershy the kind of used colors in this piece. I mean, obviously, we can all see that the ponies themselves are colorless, and then there's kind of colors like thrown on top or like in the background and to kind of like give them the colors, but it's not like explicitly drawn in. But what I really liked is the fact that there was kind of like a different color for each character. So, you know, like obviously we've got a lot of shades of like the pinks and the purples with like Twilight and Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy and all that kind of stuff. But it's also balanced out by things like the yellows in Applejack's hair, and then the like rainbow colors, like the fact that that Rainbow Dash is focused more on the bluer, the cooler kind of shades of color. And what it does is it almost creates like this rainbow of effects when you combine all the characters together.
Actually, my favorite little thing about it was that, like, with a piece like this, sometimes you try to make sense of the chaos. You know what I mean? And so there is kind of a science or method behind this kind of like mess, or what seems, you know, just kind of like random splotches of color. And I was trying to make sense of that. And I was looking at it, and it, for the most part, all the characters aren't colored in with that, you know, splotchy color. Their bodies are actually a solid color, so you can make out the ponies and the lines in their like coat or whatever, their body or whatever. So there's no paint on their body, but the color that their hair is that like splatter of paint. So each pony, its hair is that like its specific color, and they all follow kind of that rule, in quotes, in like I'm making little finger quotes, that rule where like they kind of had like the splotch of paint for their hair, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's filling in all of their hair, and it's kind of like giving them color, when really it's just kind of like a splotch on the paint on the background. Except for Twilight. She's not following the rules. She's breaking them, and it bugs me. Like, that's the thing. Like, oh, that's cool. Like, all the ponies, like, they have the splotches of the color for their hair, and like, that's cute. Then Twilight's up there, like, like, look at her. The paint's behind her hair.
Look at me.
Fix it.
I'm an alicorn. I don't have
she's
to play
above.
by the rules.
You think you're
I'm
a princess, so you're so special? You're score breaking the rules?
I get to be on
See how
top
it
of the
is?
pile.
She looks
Spoiled
so
horse.
blissfully unaware of the agony that is below her.
Yeah, really. I feel
Here's the boiled horse.
I feel sorry for Fluttershy, who has to balance 5 tall equines on her wing tip.
I know. That's so good.
Yeah. So anyways, I like it. I like the way that it plays with the colors and things like that. That's what really stood out to me. I mean, that is the main thing in this piece. I mean, we could talk about certain things like the facial expressions or things like that, but I think for the most part, what really makes this piece stand out is the colors and how they're used together.
Mm. I also like the simplicity of it. Like, it's, their legs are triangles, basically.
Right.
And the eyes, like, you just get, like, partial outlines for the eyes and stuff. I really like minimalistic kind of stylings like this, like minimalistic line art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's kind of Fluttershy the Kind's thing. There seems to be a lot of very flattened colors. There's a lot of outline-less work where the characters are one color and then they have like one hair color and then they have an eye color and like that's it, So it's kind of the more I guess minimalistic would kind of work for that. Simplistic is definitely a word that I would use. But again, like simplistic invokes this sense of like, oh, it's not good or it's not like to the same level. But that's not necessarily what I'm trying to say there,
Yeah.
Right.
Not the truth at hand, if it
Well,
were.
it's trying to convey a different like feeling than like a fully developed piece. Like, this is supposed to be cute, and it is cute because it's so like, quick and minimalistic, and like you can look at it and you take it all in one sitting, and it's like, oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, but at the same point, at the same point, I made up that sentence. It makes sense.
Yep.
Shut up! Don't make fun of me. On that same point, rather, it's this is really super like art house too. You know what I mean? Like it is simplistic and meant to be kind of like taken in, sort of, but it is something where you can look at it and appreciate finer things in it. Like, while I was talking about how like the color like makes up their hair, and then I was bugged by the fact that it didn't fill in Twilight. Like, that was me sitting down in front of something that most people would see as inherently simple, splashes of paint on a digital canvas. I'll use my little air quotes again, and just look at it as if it were that. But I guess we're going that step further. In a piece like this, you can still take that extra step. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're kind of saying the things like, oh, it seems a little simpler, but at the same point, there is like some dynamic stuff to this. I mean, this is pretty much as close to modern art as we've gotten on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it splashes
simple.
of paint on a canvas that's digital.
Yeah.
Thing.
I mean, it's deceptively simple. And what I mean by that is that it looks very simple, but I think there's a lot of stuff underneath that is done very well. So well, in fact, that it gives off this impression that it's just simple.
So yeah, so you see, that's exactly where we're trying to go with this piece, where it seems really, really simple, but there are these really awesome concepts that are kind of like put on top of each other, to where it really just builds up to make this like really, really awesome piece. You know what I'm saying? You know where I'm going with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So wait, if I like this piece, which I do,
Yep.
does that mean that I'll like more modern art and like abstract art?
Depends. Did you like what we
Possibly.
saw in the Ottawa art gallery?
I like the red splotchy painting.
Did you?
No,
Is something wrong with you?
It's so
I think what it
confusing.
means is if you like pieces like this, you'll like more pieces with horses stacked on top of each other.
Oh!
That's the thing, like what we're talking about.
Burn, did you just go supersonic? No, he's gone supersonic, guys. We can't hear him anymore. We can't hear him
gone.
anymher.
We've lost him, Captain. He's
Come
gone
back
flat.
to us, Burned.
Another thing I really liked about this piece is like how watercolory it kind of feels, especially because you have like Rainbow Dash, for instance, and Applejack have these lines of their paint running into the characters below them. So it's it's very splotchy, very like runny
See,
feeling.
that's another really good point. The drippy paint going in the other colors, and the colors over other colors.
Yeah.
Rainbow Dash has
Why-
more than just one color.
Why wasn't this your accent at the beginning?
What, is that a good accent or something? That's my normal accent. That's actually my Alaskan accent coming through. Rare occasion.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, everyone
So,
in Alaska talks like that.
I actually just, I was thinking like, oh, why isn't Twilight an alicorn in this? Like that's a bit weird. And I read down in the comments that Fluttershy the Kind mentioned that the stacking is actually in a particular order. The stacking goes Unicorn, Earth Pony, Pegasus. Unicorn, Earth Pony, Pegasus. Which I thought was really cool. It kind of gives like this sense of like a pattern.
Unicorn, Earth Pony, Pegasus, Unicorn. Pony. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
See, method to the madness. That's what I was
See,
talking about earlier.
You look at it and you don't realize it, but there's a lot of thought that goes into these things.
See, there's things to be dissected.
Yeah.
It's art, people. Enjoy it, or I'll punch you in the nose.
These pieces are constructed. You know, they've got layers on top of each other, like some sort of tower, or like a stack of techniques, of
Things.
pony horse techniques.
I think the word you're looking for there is pillar, maybe vertical pillar.
Stack of horses.
Stack. Horse stack.
Horse stack.
Stacking of horses. That is basically the fundamentals of all art. You skip horses and you stack.
So Burned.
Yeah.
Speaking of horse stacks, mad stacks of horses, I believe you have yourself a
Dang girl, you
collection.
got mad stacks of horses.
collection of mad stacks of horses, right?
Mad stacks. All right. Well, the next up in this mad stacks of horse episode that we're doing is the art that I chose, which is by Flea Bites, and I couldn't find this on Flea Bites DeviantArt, so we're gonna include a Tumblr link in the things. You can go there and you click on Tumblr link. So yeah, it's fleabites.tumblr.com. It's on the screen. Anyway, I have no clue what this piece is called. We'll call
Stacking
it Fall. I don't know how to find names.
We're gonna call it
On
vertical
things.
pillar of equines.
Anyway, this is a piece of the main six basically falling on top of each other, like stacking on top of each other, and I have no clue what the like narrative to this is. It's just a bunch of horses falling on top of each other.
Right.
Burned.
And yeah,
Is
Yes.
this the creation of the stack?
it could be.
No, this is the pile. This is the aftermath.
This is the aftermath.
This one should have been last.
Yeah.
I can't. Maybe the title for this should be the genesis of the stacking of equines.
Can you tell it's really late when we're recording these?
It's only
No, it's early, but I've
here.
had a lot of caffeine.
It's only 7. That's 10 where we are, Burned. Okay. So
Details.
I really like this one. I know you guys have major crushes on Flea Bites.
Yeah, we do.
But I think what was really cool about Flea Bites' art is that everything is taken to such a crazy and wacky extreme. And so something like this, where it's just like a goofy bunch of ponies falling off of like a stack, like ends up being like just this wacky, insane jumble mess. You know, you've got Twilight at the bottom, who's like blech, like squished, and you know you got Rainbow Dash, who's flipping and her hair's like flailing everywhere, and everything is just
Pinkies.
like magnified
totally
by like
close to
1,000, and it's really cool.
Applejack's face.
Pinky's face. He likes it.
It's so good. Like, there's so much emotion and expression in all of the characters, but it's so, like, fluidy and organic. So, I mean, there's kind of like this duality here, where you have, like, the ponies or whatever, and they're solids, or they have hair or whatever, but they look like they're fluid, like they're liquid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Cats.
we actually got to talk to Flea Bites at DeviantArt. Wow, okay. We got to talk to Flea Bites at BronyCon, not DeviantArt. I've actually never been to a place called DeviantArt in
DashCon.
the real world.
How did the DeviantArt convention go?
Anyway,
pit.
so we got to
Go.
talk.
Ball pits for
We got to talk to Flea Bites, and it was really cool. And there's an interview that we did with her on our YouTube page, so you can go check that out. Anywho, but she mentioned while we were there that something that a lot of people do say about her work is that it is very fluid and it's very organic. And even a word that we brought up when we've actually reviewed or highlighted her work before was that it is extremely fluidy, and it reminds us of surrealism was another keyword that we use. Surreal meaning dreamlike, or kind of that, flowy things where stuff doesn't, match reality. It's not similar to, how, I don't know, real physics or real things work. And they kind of break all these laws by doing all these kind of crazy, unnatural, like, motions and illustrations. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm going with that?
Yeah.
That makes sense, or did I just make a horse of myself?
Hey.
That's every episode of the podcast, Burned. Oh, sorry.
Burned. You've been a horse all this time.
My true calling.
So I mean, I know that you and Flutter Guy both love this kind of style of art, but I'm actually kind of really interested to hear.
It's fantastic, and you like it.
I'm interested to hear what Joel has to say about it, because I haven't heard too much from him about what he thinks about that, and he wasn't there with us at BronyCon to kind of talk about Flea Bites art when we talked to her.
In spirit.
So I'd like to hear his impression about it.
You're always with me in spirit. Joel.
I do like Flea Bites. Like the way that you're right. Everything just looks fluid and like it's made of water, but they're still solid. I do like that. I think what was it? She did a Pinkie Pie watercolor that I really like. That comes up every now and then. And I think somebody got me a print of it at BronyCon.
Yeah, Mahara got you a print
of us or something, which I haven't got yet. But when I get it, I'll love it.
Yeah.
Just the faces that she does in her characters like this. I mean, just look at Pinkie's face.
Yeah.
And then look at Twilight's face. And Applejack's, I don't know, for some reason in my head she's saying something about apples.
Apples.
It's just everything she does is fluid and it looks, like you said, organic, but it's not. And I really like it. It's almost like when you're doing tie-dye and you drop like colorful oils into the water.
Yeah.
You watch them swirl around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like that.
Yeah.
It's
I
definitely
would
really
love
cool.
to see this. I would love to see this painted, and then like while it's still wet, do that thing where you put it on a wheel and spin it.
Oh yeah.
I would
be
love
sweet.
to see this like that.
Right.
That'd be really cool.
So a fun fact on that, for those who are looking at this piece, this is actually done traditionally in graphite. So it's hand-drawn in pencil. So using, I believe, just a mechanical pencil. Actually, at Flea Bites said that she actually drew this while she was at work in her notebook, like secretly drawing. And I actually own the original to this. She was selling it at BronyCon, so I bought the original of this piece. And I'm super proud to own it. Humble brag. Anyway. And it's awesome, and I love it, and I love her work. But yeah, so what she did was she drew it traditionally, and then she colored it digitally. So this is digital color work on the traditional pencil that she scanned. And it's beautiful. Anyway,
yeah.
So yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm so conflicted because like the kind of weird aspect of it, and a lot of the weird aspects of Flea Bites things kind of takes me aback sometimes. But at the same time, there's so many things that I look at and I just like that's done so well and interestingly, you know, and I love to see such different styles get put out there, and I love to see an artist kind of experiment with stuff, because the only way you're going to make true progress is by experimentation.
Yeah. Like I was totally that same way. I had that same mindset. Like when I first started looking at art, like kind of the more weird whatever stuff, it was really like put me off a little bit, and I didn't really care for it or whatever, but like now I just really, really started to like it. Like I've started to enjoy it more, like build this appreciation for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I like, this is really, really grown on me. Like it's deliciously weird. You know what I mean? Like I super dig stuff like this, and especially in this style. Like in like an episode or two ago, where we were talking about that like the uncanny. Yeah, last week in the Halloween episode, we were talking about the uncanny. Like there's different styles of uncanny, like different types of uncanny, and like some I enjoy or some I don't. Or like this one is it's not quite uncanny, maybe a little bit, but it's weird or it's strange in how like things are depicted or look, but I don't know, there's like something that obviously it's funny and like the scene happening, and I don't know, it's just like it's the right kind of weird for me. You know what I mean? Well,
it's like just as this is a mess of ponies, it's almost like a mess of emotions you receive from this piece.
That's a good one. I like that.
I mean,
also, I get a really, really good visual image of Applejack like hitting the ground and cursing and just like apples. It's like that's her curse word. Just like apples. God.
So we need
with her face like that, it's like she's making a horse.
Yeah.
So
Ted, you're saying?
We have one more point before we have to move on really quick, and I know Ted, you wanted to say something about this.
Ted, please.
I was going to say that this piece is very messy because look at all that ink just like squirting everywhere.
Oh yeah, the
Twilight
pen.
Twilight can't do anything about it because she's stuck under the stack of ponies.
Like what
I mean,
is
horses.
It's like the feather is a squid.
Yeah.
that pen is a mystery. Like I believe what happened with that pen is it like fell, hit the ground, and it bounced off. And when it bounced off the paper, it shot ink. Like the narrative of that crazy pen, kind of like spraying ink. You know, it's almost like it's impaled and standing there by the ink. Like Yeah, I don't know. I want to say that it like bounced off like by the tip and like ink everywhere. You know what I mean?
So is the pen basically a new character in the show? Are we giving it a personality? And,
Either
like,
that or Twilight was
backstory?
holding. I got this. Twilight was writing a letter to Celestia, and all the ponies were spying on her above, like in the library or someplace, right? And then they fell through the window and fell on top of Twilight, and she was holding it with her magic. And when she would and got squished, she squeezed the pen with her magic and went shot it everywhere. So
I'm not sure that's how quills work.
So now one more question.
It's magic. Don't question it.
One more question is, how did Twilight go from being on the top of the previous stack to being on the bottom of this stack?
Look, there can be parallel stacks in the universe, okay? There is not one singular stack. There are multiple stacks. Stacked
There's
on top of
actually
each
an
other.
infinite amount
Stacked
of
on?
equine stacks possible in this universe.
There
have
are,
you
in
actually
fact.
have you ever heard the theory of the infinite equine theory? You ever heard of that?
The theory that states that there can be stacks on stacks on stacks.
Of infinitely
All the way
stacked
down.
equines.
All the way down, yeah.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
ponies all the way down.
We're never going to get through the art if we don't move on to the next one, though.
No, we're not.
All right, Joel, I think it is your turn next.
Yeah, alright, it's my turn. So, I have chosen this one. It's linked in the chat. Because it's great.
Oh, for
different
God's
art.
sakes.
It's true, it is a stack.
None of us thought of it. Okay, I just wanted to bring that one.
All right.
Because it's us.
Damn it,
I'll give you
Joel.
that
it's from
one. It was
DualShock, and
clever.
it's from like ages ago.
It was clever.
We look like
Yeah,
weird octopuses.
no,
Damn
no,
it,
no.
DualShock.
Yep.
What's your actual
And I'm on
piece?
top, so suck it.
Okay.
Alright, now, the real one I chose is called Men 6 by Sam Bragg. Have you still got it up? Yeah, sweet. It is digital, but it doesn't look like it. Everyone's got like this weird, it's lineless, it's sort of stacking. We sort of called it a stack because Applejack looked like she's standing on Twilight, and Twilight and Rarity are touching butts, and that sort of thing.
I was not aware that the requirements for a stack was just to touch butts with someone else.
You never heard that? Like, oh man, she has a sweet stack.
Burned. Would you like to stack?
Look at this. No,
I just realized that Sam Bragg
told...
did the cloud chest that I like on my show.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Joel. We just completely immediately train crashed your piece here.
Yeah, I've been completely derailed
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I like
No.
the piece. I really like the piece. Okay. I enjoy the background. I enjoy the way that the background doesn't even fit, and there's kind of like this white border around it. There's like, it gives a sense of layers, and the way that the characters are placed as well gives another sense of layers. So there's little pieces, like for example,
It's
you
a
can
different
see-
type of stacking, if you will.
you can see
layering.
Shut up. You can see Pinkie Pie's like arm is just slightly behind Twilight, so you get that kind of visual cue that she's behind there, and Applejack's obviously behind, and then Fluttershy's just a little bit behind Applejack and a little bit behind Rarity. None of them are blocked really. Even Applejack, who's behind Twilight, she's not blocked, and yet there's all these subtle little visual cues that give you the sense of depth and shows you where the character is in 3D space.
Which makes it really funny because it's like, what is Applejack standing on? Which is why we allowed this piece in our ridiculous theme.
Yeah, the
because
sole reason.
I basically have this narrative that is just like, Applejack is basically just standing on Twilight's butt. Just like, I'm just stand here. This is where I'm gonna be.
Yep.
Yeah. Clearly.
I love Pinkie's face. She's so happy.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that before. Pinky, I'm sorry, I ignored you. I was looking basically at Twilight and Applejack smiling, looking up to the left. Like, they have like the same expression, and they're looking the same way. It's like they know
Applejack's
something.
more
It's like,
happy.
it's like Fluttershy has some kind of little secret.
But like,
No.
Look
what
at
are
the
they
size
all
of
looking
Applejack's
at?
smile.
They're all
Fluttershy
looking at
knows
Fluttershy.
that-
She's
But
just like,
no. But Fluttershy's
Except
looking at
for Rarity.
something, and
Yeah.
and Rainbow Dash is looking above her. So it's like the four of them are looking at one thing, and then Rarity's like, "What are we looking at?" and looks the complete wrong direction.
Oh my goodness!
No, Rarity's
there's,
looking at Applejack.
there's composition going on here. So what we just did was we were looking at the characters, we were looking at their eyes, and we were looking at where they were looking. And so basically, if you follow everyone's eyes, it eventually leads to Fluttershy, who I would argue is actually looking at us.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I
is
would
cool.
agree with that, yeah.
That's a thing you can do in art. Like
Yeah.
doing something.
It's true.
That's really cool.
Eyes make a great eyes can give great sense of direction in a piece. That's for sure.
Now, Burned, I don't know if you know this, but is there kind of more of an impact with that if you use eyes at kind of a diagonal angle than like just vertical or horizontal?
I mean, it's not so much the angle in like which they are placed. It's just the fact that even like Rainbow Plasma is super guilty of this, in that like we as people will often look at eyes or faces of characters and will look at where they're looking. Like it's a very human thing to see that. Like when you look at another human being, like you know if they're looking at you or looking away from you. You know what I mean? So you can recognize if someone's making eye contact with you or looking away from you. It's built into us and programmed into us. You know what I mean? So it's a very common tool in art to basically change where the character's vision is being cast or, you know, directed. And so like I would know nothing about whether their eyes, if they're at like a diagonal, if it makes it whatever. But obviously, like if you think of a human expression, like if you're looking up and to the left, that's kind of like you know, it has a certain feeling or expression behind it. I would say that it carries more of an expression or like than anything else. You know what I mean? Which like you get this really cute like expression from Twilight and Applejack, like looking up and to the left, like a Fluttershy. But point being, like we see their faces, we see their eyes, and we recognize, oh, they're looking a certain direction. You know, it's not like Derpy or his eyes are going everywhere. Like we're physically seeing and recognizing. Rarity's a little got something going on there, but for the most part, we can see where the ponies are looking, and like it pretty much, to me at least, it looks like everything kind of leads up to like. Kind of like leads up to Rainbow Dash, and Rainbow Dash is looking directly over to Fluttershy there.
So, Burned.
Also, Fluttershy has really, really tiny wings.
You mentioned, I don't really know, you know, what it means if they're up and to the diagonal. Let me bring up a couple of good points about what eye position can do to kind of change the mood of a piece. When you look up, when you see a picture of something looking up, it generally gives you a little bit more of a sense of a happier feel. And when you see something looking down, it gives the sense of almost like a sadder or a madder feel. This comes from the sense of power, I guess, that you would get. If you have something towering over you, looking down at you, it looks more powerful, therefore more menacing almost. Whereas if you have something looking up at you, it's smaller, almost cuter, you know? And so something else that kind of adds to that is the fact that when we have a piece where someone is looking directly at you, it affects you much more differently because, you know...
It's a lot more personal.
We do follow directions of eyes. People do this all the time, and I use it to my advantage when I'm walking, actually. If you're ever walking in a crowded area, you would not believe how many people look at your eyes and look at other people's eyes when they walk. Everybody does this because they want to know where people are going, and we can tell very easily when we look at someone else's eyes, and we can tell what they're looking at. There's something about that where we can always tell where people are looking just from seeing the position of their eyes. So people do it all the time when they're walking in order to find out where that person is walking. So a little trick for everyone out there, and this is a trick that I use all the time. If you want to ever walk without having that awkward like dance shuffle thing, don't make eye contact with people as you're passing by. Pick a point, say, I'm going to go there, and then walk there. Other people will look at your eyes and go, he's walking that way, or she's walking that way, and they will move around you. And it's because...
If you look at each other, you get confused.
Exactly.
Like, we're walking at each other, we're gonna crash!
When you lock eyes, you can't tell where the person's going, because to you, it's like, oh, they're coming towards me, you know? And then you freak out, you freeze up.
That being said, if you see a fine lady, lock eyes, and then you go, oh, which way? Oh, no.
That's why people who walk around while looking at the phones will fall over and their phone will hit them in the face. Because eyes will go where you're
Exactly.
Well, okay.
Also, a fun fact.
Sure.
Dogs will follow your eyes.
Yeah.
That's true.
A lot of animals
Thank you,
do it.
Silver Raincoats, for telling me that.
Yeah, a lot of us will do it, and so we have this built-in technology in our brain to be able to recognize where other people's vision is going and what their focuses are. And so to be able to use it in a piece like this to manipulate the way that you're looking, it's so natural. You see Twilight and you want to follow where her eyes go because you say, I want to know what she's looking at. We do it naturally, and it's a great way to focus a piece into a central area, such as Fluttershy in this piece.
Darn right it is. In fact, one last fun fact In art history, I learned a fancy word that I can't remember because I was a terrible student. It's Italian, and it's basically there's a word for the gaze of a character, where that character's looking. Either that, or it's that it's when a character in a painting looks at you. And I believe it's something like festaiuolo. I'm probably just making that word up. But in a lot of classic art history paintings, especially during the Renaissance, you'll find that the characters will actually be casting a gaze at you, and usually it's the artist. So the artist would do that to engage you. So like in the Sistine Chapel, I believe it is. No, not the Sistine Chapel. That's the one with the painted ceiling. No, I believe it's also in the Sistine Chapel, but a different area of it, or maybe it's in that one big place that's important to Christianity. I don't remember.
The Vatican?
The Vatican, thank you. Somewhere in the Vatican. Where the card was made. I don't remember. There's a wall, and on the wall, the theory wall, or is it theory, or the people from Greece? I can't remember all these words. I'm too tired. It's late. What is the thing? There's theology, the theology wall, with the things and the people where they're, you know, the people who they're the thinkers. You know what I'm talking about?
I really
Philosophers,
want to.
Thank you. There's a wall with a bunch of philosophers from ancient Greece on there, and they're all looking which way. There's Plato, whatever the other old dead guys are called, and they're all looking every which way and whatnot. And so you follow their gaze, what they're looking at, who they're looking at, who they're interacting with. But there's one person who's looking at you, and it's Michelangelo, the dude who painted it, and he's engaging you. He is looking at you. He's the only subject in that entire painting who's looking directly at you. Anyway, enough of my crappy art history lessons. Jesus. Terrible art history with Burn. I'm sorry.
I mean, you kind of tied it together in the end, so I gotta give you credit there.
It's been so long since I've been in that class, and I'm just trying to remember all that crap. Ugh, my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway.
So speaking about the Renaissance, segue maybe.
Go on.
Speaking of
You
illumination,
have me interested.
The next piece. Actually, before we move on, Joel, did you want to say anything more about this piece?
Yeah,
No, I'm pretty sure it's been covered.
Okay, so my piece that I chose is called Meus Poxillum Cabali.
Oh my
I
God.
have no idea how to pronounce that.
wow.
Meus
I'm not going to even attempt to because I can't.
Cabalio.
But for the record, my goodness.
It's
by
Latin.
Lord Philock. I don't know Latin, but so this is another stack, or rather a pile of ponies.
Whoa,
and
we're breaking the stack here. We're getting to piles. This is like second
This is
year
pyramid.
university stack theory 201, okay?
Look, there's 3 ponies on the bottom now instead of just 1.
And that is a much more structured stack, that's for sure.
So yeah, Lord Philock says that he did this piece to kind of have a Renaissance look to it, which I definitely get from the texture. It kind of looks like painting on paneling that's been kind of worn a little bit, weathered.
Yeah,
Kind of has that crackly feel to it.
I love the artificial weathering of it, you know? It looks like something that was made, say, hundreds of years ago, that was recovered and restored in a museum, you know, and then hung up on a wall somewhere.
I wonder if pony art in the future will be discovered or rediscovered and then hung up on walls.
Absolutely not.
Oh.
But anyways.
It's Latin. It's Latin, and it translates to My Little Pony.
Yep, I googled that too.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe it's pronounced you don't pronounce the X, so it's Meus Pallium Cabalio, I believe. I'm probably butchering that. Or you pronounce the C as an S, so Sabalio. So Meus Pallium Sabalio. I think. I don't read Latin.
Close enough.
Fun fact, my grandmother used to speak fluent Latin because
Really?
she took it in Germany because it used to be a class in the
Isn't there no consensus?
50s.
Isn't there no consensus for the pronunciation of Latin though?
There's
There
a pretty
is.
there's a consensus. I'm pretty sure. I mean, you have to speak Vatican. You have to speak Vatican. You have to speak Latin if you are at the Vatican, or you are a priest or a cardinal.
Huh.
I don't think you can speak Vatican, but
Yeah, no, I'm
Well,
pretty sure you
there's-
can
there's
I
either.
don't think Vatican's a language.
There's 2 different dialects too. There's the Church Latin.
Yeah,
and
So
then there's,
ponies.
yeah.
Horses, equines.
In piles?
Yes.
Hey, look what we were talking about in the other piece. So there's the gaze again. Look what the ponies are looking at again.
See,
So
but
you got
the
a bunch
thing
of
is-
ponies looking at things.
Yeah, but the thing is that they ruined your kind of theme here, because we've got Pinky looking off to the right. She's pointing at something. We've got Rainbow, and she's looking up at the light. We got Applejack. She's staring off to the left. And then we've got Rarity, Twilight, and Fluttershy, and they're all staring at the camera. And
I would disagree. I would say that Rarity and Fluttershy are actually looking at Twilight. That's why
Fluttershy's
Fluttershy's
definitely, yeah, Fluttershy's definitely looking at the camera. We can
I'm pretty
argue
sure
about
she's
Rarity.
looking at the corner of her eye to try to
No,
look at Twilight.
no.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
think you're crazy. I disagree.
Pretty sure they're looking at Twilight.
I disagree.
Pretty sure my opinion's better than yours.
Anyways, you are correct in that the kind of gazes in this piece, again, drive where your eyes go. But the interesting thing is that they're not necessarily driving you to anything in particular, you know? They're not all looking, you know, Pinkie Pie where she's looking, you'll never know what she's looking at, you know? Like, it's not something that you can go and find, but it creates
But
this...
she's excited about
It
it.
creates this interesting kind of, like, outer shell, you know, where we have gazes looking out and gazes looking in towards the viewer.
Well, I think it's interesting because you get kind of this noise from all of the different gazes outwards, like Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, Applejack, even Rarity and Fluttershy to a certain extent. And Twilight is really the only one that is definitely looking at the camera. So your eye is kind of drawn right to her because, you know, she's looking directly at you and everyone else is looking away. So it's interesting. It's kind of like, it's a reverse but similar effect to the last piece.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost even fine. Like you said, like even if there's three looking at you, there's still three looking away, like off the piece, which is interesting because it does lead your vision off of the artwork, like away towards the edges. Which usually in Renaissance work, the characters what they did is they help to lead your view back inwards in the piece, usually. So it keeps you looking at the art or into the art versus looking away from the art. You know what I mean? There's kind of like a mental concept where we like look away to the edges and then we see other things like being deviant art surrounding it.
Right.
But I actually do like Rainbow Dash's gaze, like looking up into the light, kind of with that little shot.
Yeah, I think
face.
that I think that's the best gaze for sure
Yeah.
in this entire piece. And it
I don't know. Pinky's is pretty good. She's
What's that over there?
not the type of gaze, I mean like the way it's used.
Yeah. Well, especially because you get a little bit of this volumetric lighting, the rays of light kind of coming down and hitting Rainbow Dash.
Yeah.
And she's looking up at the light. So it's like one of those, what's the term that we used in that Assassin Monkey piece? It's like the rays of God kind of lighting
Yeah.
on
Yep,
Rainbow
that
Dash.
was it, 100%.
Sunbeams.
Quote for
Something
quote.
like that. I don't know.
I did technically say something like that, yes.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is too that those light rays kind of create like a diagonal sense in the piece as well, and it really shifts this piece kind of on its side a little bit. I wish that the artist used the gazes a little bit more to continue that sense of that top left to bottom right sense of diagonalness, you know? What?
What? Go on. What do you mean by that?
No, what I meant
sense
was,
of-
so you can use gazes to kind of direct people's eyes, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Rainbow Dash's gaze is kind of parallel to the light source and the way that the rays are going, right? And
yeah.
to a certain extent, you could probably say that similarly to Rarity as well. But things like Pinkie Pie and Applejack are perpendicular to that, and so it kind of cuts off that sense of diagonality.
Okay, I got you. I'm on the same page now.
Yeah, cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Also, I kind of like how they formed into one solid ball of ponies now.
It's a Katamari Damacy.
Yeah, because they're like
of-
they're stacked on top of each other. Like they're definitely standing on each other. But they're like one solid mass of ponies. You know what I mean? They don't quite exist as separate entities. Like Twilight and Applejack kind of like morph together, and I'm pretty sure Twilight has two heads, one of which is Rarity. Like they're now this giant like uni beast of horses.
There's got to be a fanfic about that somewhere. Like
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that is our art for this week.
Wait, I have one more thing.
Okay,
One more
you can have your one more thing.
One more quick thing is I really like how this artist has done the shading on the ponies because it makes them feel wooden almost. Like in certain places, like if you look at Fluttershy's ear or most of the muzzles and stuff, it's like a little bit more harder shading than in certain areas and a little soft shading in certain areas, and it kind of gives it this crisp wood-like feeling. I don't know.
The black quality on my monitor is really cruddy, and it makes this piece look way darker than it actually is. But if I actually sit up in my chair, there is actually a lot of detail in this piece. It's just my monitor's gonna poop knuckles.
Wow.
Well then, moving on.
All right then. So let's do
Questions?
Let's do one question this week. Let's do the second one.
Second question.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there a country in general or a city you would really like to visit and why? Sent in by Sonnenblitz.
Okay, I guess I'll go
Brad,
first.
you go first.
I guess I'll go first then. I've
Burned, you go first. Oh, no.
well, nobody was saying anything, so I figured out.
Go ahead.
I've always wanted to live in Vancouver for a little bit.
It's not that great here.
Shut up, not your Vancouver. Vancouver, BC, Canada, not Vancouver, middle of nowhere, America.
Washington State, thank you very much. Pacific Northwest.
History.
Yeah, the country of Pacific Northwest.
Jealous of my twiddly mustache.
So yeah, I don't know. Vancouver's always been kind of a big kind of media town, media city. It's got a lot of great gaming studios out there, a lot of gaming studios that I would love to work at. As well, it's just kind of like a different, I don't know, it's something that I've always wanted to do. At least, I've never visited out there, but I've always wanted to live out there. So Vancouver, just along the West Coast in general, is a place that I want to kind of visit and perhaps live there for a little bit.
West Coast is great.
West Coast.
Burn now?
Yeah, sure.
That's not a city, Burned.
Do they speak English in
And you
Blur?
can't say the Vatican again.
Darn it. I would like to go to Ponyville and visit Twilight Sparkle and live in the library.
Too soon, bro.
Will you
Too
take-
soon.
will you-
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, my goodness.
Admit it, you just want to go there so you can get more than one pony and stack them.
That's true.
Stick Burned. You need help.
I just want to stack horses. Shut up, Twilight. Stand there.
Why isn't your balance as good as in the pictures?
No.
On a serious note. Just ignore stacking horses for a moment. I know that's your thing. I've been to Germany, but I feel like Germany would be on my list. Like, very ironic, seeing as Sonnenblitz sent in the question.
Is that irony?
Because I always make cracks about his. I couldn't think of another word. I always make cracks at it.
It's
at
like
him
having
being
too many
German.
spoons when all you need is a knife.
What?
It's like rain.
Anyway, I like Germany. I really like Germany, and I'd like to live there for a while. And so that's why I took German in college, so I could learn the language because I like it.
Cool.
So I'd say Germany, even though I've already been there like twice.
Well, it doesn't matter. You can still
Fight me.
It's still a place that you want to go to.
I like Germany. I like food. It's great.
The German food is delicious.
Right.
Things
So
are great.
good.
Beer's great.
Mm.
People are great. The lifestyle's great.
You're
How do you
great.
say
I like
great in German?
living somewhere and like I gotta go eat things. I'm gonna go to the store and buy it. Come back to eat it.
But not on Sundays.
That's
'cause
what people
everything's
do
closed on
everywhere,
Sundays.
Burned. That is not an exclusively
No.
German thing.
Here I buy
No,
like,
but the
ramen
Germans do
and
it with
hot
more
pockets
efficiency.
because it's America. It's awful. And if I wanted to drive to the store, it's 30 minutes from my house.
That is not a German versus American thing. That is you live in the middle of
it's
nowhere.
It's a city thing versus a rural thing. So we'll
Yeah.
say German cities is a place I want to visit.
Fair enough.
Now, even in like
Okay.
rural Germany, like you got a bread shop down the street from you, and everyone lives around the bloody bread shop. Like it's a different place, man. Like when you want breakfast, you go to the bread store because you're friggin' the rolls you didn't eat from yesterday are bad because the bread there only lasts like 2 days because you always eat it fresh because it's the way of their people. It's like you gotta.
You done?
Yes, I'm done.
Thank you, Joel.
Rainbow Plasma? I mean, Rain, Mr. B. Lasner or whatever your name was.
What? He already went.
I already went. How could you forget there
Oh,
was
did he?
2 people that went?
Okay, so I guess it's Burns' turn.
Oh my god.
We can talk more about Germany.
It's 10:30 at night.
Please don't.
My
All
goodness.
right. I will go next, seeing as we can't keep track of who. Yeah.
Who
Okay.
are you again?
I think I'm at West Park.
Yep. Okay, go.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
I would like to visit Japan mostly for the culinary aspect.
Japanese.
I have become a big fan of sushi, and I like trying different sushis, and it would be really interesting to see like the difference in culture over there. And I haven't been to any Asian country yet, and I feel like it would be really cool.
That's true.
Yeah,
They do have a very different culture over there, and I think it'd be really interesting to see it.
Very.
I would really, really like to try the like local food from there. You know what I mean? Also,
Yeah.
you ever heard of that sushi place where it's like the most famous sushi place in the world and it's super expensive, and you go there and it's like you have 15 minutes. Here's your sushi. Eat. Get out. You know what I'm talking about? And you can't go there if you don't speak fluent Japanese. So if you are a foreigner and you want to go there, you have to have a translator. You have to.
Oh.
Yeah, like it's a
Interesting.
requirement, and there's a dress code, and it's like it's the most famous sushi in Japan that you can get ever, and it's like you have to make a reservation that you have to make like a year prior or whatever. There's always people going in, maybe don't need. I don't know.
You're really
But it's
selling
like
this
super.
for me.
It's super strict. It's supposed to, but that's the thing. Like I wouldn't want to go do that because it seems like such a high stress environment. Like I wouldn't want to like sneeze at the wrong person and be like, "You say my," like stab. I don't know. Just like
Yeah,
things would
you
just
would
go
get
bad.
stabbed in Japan.
But it's so like high stress. Like you
Yeah.
have to have a translator. You have to go. You have 15 minutes. They're like customs and like here's your food, here's your sushi.
But you started
like,
this out
eat
by
it,
saying,
all
I
this.
want to go to this.
No, I said, have you heard of it? Is how I
Oh.
started it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
There's also they've got themed cafes. Like one that I saw while I was there was a Gundam themed cafe, and it was just like the cafe is like I've never seen like any of the Gundam shows, but it's like a mission control type thing, and all the waitresses are all dressed up, and all the chairs look like stuff.
See,
and
that's
stuff all over the walls.
that's way more my speed.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So my turn then.
Yep.
I love traveling, and I would like to go back to Japan because I didn't see a whole lot of it.
Hey, you want to go together?
I would also like to go to Europe. I never really used to want to go to Europe, but I would like to go to Europe.
What part of Europe?
Just Europe in general.
Ah.
I love the fact that you can get in a car and then drive for
Car.
like 4 hours and be in 17 different countries.
Right.
I want to do that. Here, you can drive for 24 hours and still be in the same state.
Yeah.
You talking about Holland? I didn't hear what you said. Say that again.
What?
Huh?
He said he'd drive for 17 hours. Sorry. Whoa.
No.
You could drive between countries really quickly.
Where
Yeah.
at?
Like you watch,
Europe.
for example, Top Gear, and they
Europe,
drive
okay.
from Switzerland to England.
Yeah, I got you. Or you don't even need the car. You just get on the
Train.
U-Bahn, the train or whatever, and you go from
U-Bahn.
Switzerland all the way down to Spain. You just do that.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do that. You can't do that here.
Yeah, Europe's pretty legit like that.
You should totally visit Europe, and then take me along too.
I just love traveling. I want to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can train hop anywhere you want in Europe, which is pretty legit. Too
Yeah.
legit to quit.
Joel, so if you ever go back to Japan, let me know because I will
invited.
go.
It's
Yep.
really expensive.
You can come
though.
with us to the Gundam Cafe
I know.
and to the Pokemon centers and all that.
It's
Yes.
really expensive, though.
You can
Yeah.
heal your Pokemon and stuff.
Also,
dude.
that the sushi bars or place, sushi restaurant that I was talking about, I heard about totally on a Rooster Teeth podcast. Like, I'm not going to take
Shout out
credit
to
for
Rooster
that. It
Teeth.
was like, that's where they were talking about it. It sounded way too high stress.
Yeah, because Rooster Teeth totally watch that
Why?
podcast.
Just saying, I didn't want to be a jerk stealing stuff.
Shout out to other people's podcasts.
Hey, I'm not a thief. That's where I learned about that junk. I'm
You're
pretty
just
sure
a liar. All right.
Jeff and what's his name went there. Guy you can't remember because
All right. Can we do the plugs? Can we do the plugs?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, I'll do it now. So, we have a YouTube page, which is where you're watching this right now, probably. It is youtube.com/Cutie Art Crusaders. We have a Facebook page, which is Cutie Art Crusaders. We have a Twitter, which is @CutieArtCrusade. We have a Tumblr, which is cutieartcrusaders.tumblr.com. We have a... Is that right? I think it's right. We have a DeviantArt, which is cutieartcrusaders.deviantart.com, and an email address, which is cutieartcrusaders@gmail.com. Pretty much everywhere except for the dating sites, you can type in Cutie Art Crusaders and find us.
Excuse me?
And we're getting there to the dating sites.
Wait, we're on the dating sites?
Not yet.
Okay.
Now for
I'm-
the
I'm
dating
good time.
sites.
I'm
Okay,
getting the-
Cupid, now including Cutie Art Crusaders.
Plenty of fish. J-Day.
Plenty
all
of
those
ponies.
Cutie Art Crusaders now on Tinder.
Like my
Are there any
e
pony dating?
profile.
No, don't answer that. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. All right. All right then. Well, I believe we've reached the end of the podcast, as well as the end of my vocal cords. So, whether or not you're on the live stream or on YouTube, we love you all the same. My name is Ronbilius Plasmonium the Third.
My head's burned.
I'm Flutter Guy.
And I'm Atmo Spark.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Yeah, we will.
Bye.
Bye.